All right, we got this. This is a new setup, by the way. I'm streaming on StreamYard using Zoom. So it's interesting. Okay, that looks good. Cool. We are live. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. If you're joining from my YouTube or LinkedIn or X or Twitter or whatever, let us know. People who are joining from the Zoom link, you can let us know as well. And
we give each of our Kubernetes its own board.
Marino.
Sure.
Oh.
Oh. Can you hear me?
We can hear you and more.
Oh,
Your
sorry.
video, maybe you were playing something.
It's all good. Some Easter eggs here and there, but I'm very excited for this one. We had a fun week at KubeCon in Atlanta. It was my first time in Atlanta, and it was really interesting, really good. And yeah, we're just here to chat about our experiences and what we learned, what we liked, what we potentially didn't like, and answer your questions live as well. So we have a lot of folks joining on the socials as well. So please send in your questions in the chat. And by the way, we are going to do a live giveaway as well. So we are giving away a signed copy of the book Kubernetes Up and Running by Kelsey Hightower. How to win that? In the end, we're going to do a fun quiz. So make sure you stick around. And by the way, people on this panel, you all can take part in the quiz as well. Cool. Start with some introductions. My name is Kunal. I am a developer advocate at CastAI, and I'm your host for this session. Julia, do you want to go next?
Sure, yeah. I'm a principal developer relations engineer at Dash Zero, and just started a few weeks ago. And really excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Courtney?
Cool. My name is Courtney Nickerson. I am head of community at Nirmata, the creators of the open source Kyverno project. And yeah, thank you for having me.
Cool. Jeremy?
Hey, Jeremy Rickard. I'm a principal software engineer at Microsoft Azure. I'm also a chair for SIG release and a member of the CNCF TOC.
Cool. Marino?
Hey, everyone. My name is Marino Wijay. I am a staff solutions architect at Kong, working on APIs, service meshes, AI stuff, etc. CNCF ambassador. Recently went to KubeCon. Mind blown as usual with all the cool stuff that's going on. And yeah, I'm here to answer any questions and happy to be amongst lovely people here. So thank you for inviting me to this panel.
Thanks for joining. And Joseph?
Yeah, I'm Joseph Sandoval. I'm the principal product manager at Adobe, working on our developer platform. Outside of that, I'm also the CNCF's end user technical advisory board member, vice chair, an ambassador, and then a long lost SIG release. Maybe I'll end up back in SIG release now that I'm no longer co-chairing.
Welcome back anytime, Joseph.
Cool. Well, welcome everyone. We're so excited for this session. And start with an easy question. If you can all summarize KubeCon Atlanta in just one word. And I don't want to make it difficult for everyone, but it would be nice if everyone can choose a different word and no copying other people.
Yeah, I
Julia,
can
do you want to
start?
start? Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it was energizing, because also I just switched jobs and a lot going on in my personal life. I think everyone has so much going on in their lives, and going to KubeCon, seeing friends again, that also meeting new people that you've met through social media or other places. It's really energizing and gave me a boost to keep learning, keep going. So it was really good for me.
Cool. Courtney?
Yeah, Julia picked a fantastic word, and very, very keen to this event. I would say probably for me it would be unifying, because I get to always see all of my own friends and community members, but also we celebrated our first KyvernoCon, and so many community members from our own community actually met each other in person, which was one of the coolest experiences that I have actually had working in a community space. But also just looking at technology and the different conversations that were going on. This is one of the first KubeCons, at least for me in hallway track, that there were security people talking to ops people, talking to AI interested folks, talking to platform engineers, talking to actual developer experience minded people, all about the same end game. Most of the time I'd come across groups of like, oh, we're just a group of SREs walking around, or we're a group of platform engineers who are all together. And this time I kept coming across very diversified groups of people who were actually having very productive, unifying conversations around how they're actually solving problems. I thought that was amazing.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. Jeremy?
I think the first word that came to my mind when you said that or asked that question was community.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Julia and Courtney just also said community several times. But for me, it was really about seeing the community together, seeing people support each other and come together. There were some challenges for sure with some projects, and it was nice to see people being supportive and coming together and sharing and uplifting. So I think community was the first thing that came to mind for me.
I love that. Marino?
Networking, the two kinds, the ones where we connect with everyone and just, have a good time, meet new people. And there's a lot of folks that are currently on the market looking for the next opportunity. So it's great to go up to all of these different booths and find out who's hiring. But then the other kind of networking too, because there were a lot of interesting networking announcements like Nginx Ingress retiring eventually, and the announcement of DRA Net being donated to the CNCF. Just a lot of cool stuff, making networking hot all over again.
And Joseph?
I was going to say probably I look at it as like convergence. And I think Courtney kind of hit something similar, but I'm probably looking at it also from a technical direction in that, we've seen all these trucks over the last decade, and all of a sudden now they seem to continually move into this single unified direction, Kubernetes being that substrate, supporting AI native now. And if you look at like a lot of the things that were announced on stage, as Marino mentioned, one of them, but GPU scheduling, networking, observability, security, and platform engineering are being redefined, and they're reflecting this unified stack. And so I think as a whole, I see this convergence is a unified model and how we're going to build and go forward with like this operating this modern system that's going to kind of carry us into that next 5-10 years.
Cool. Really looking forward to chatting more about that, Joseph. And we have Esmira joining us as well. She's my colleague from Cast AI, and we met for the first time at KubeCon. So for me, it would be opportunities. So we had a lot of opportunities at KubeCon. I mean, I echo all of your points, but it was my rule that we can't pick something that someone has already picked. And it was my first time being at the booth at Cast AI, and it was just quite busy. It's a big booth, so it was busy. Esmira, do you want to give yourself a quick intro and describe your KubeCon experience in one word?
Sure. Thank you so much, Kunal. I am Esmira, also Devrel as Kunal at Cast AI. This year's experience was pretty different for me because this time, this was the first time I actually worked at the booth, and we run a community event for Kelsey Hightower book signing, and seeing the community line up and get so excited was really very nice and rewarding.
Yeah, it was great. Met a lot of nice people, so that's always fun. Cool. So let's jump straight into it. If I have to ask everyone if you can give a shout out to your favorite talk, something that people should definitely check out in the recordings. If you just had to point one talk, which one would that be? Let's start with Jeremy.
Oh, I'm trying to think of this. I saw so many. I really this time enjoyed sitting through all of the keynotes. Sometimes keynotes are kind of hit or miss for me, but I thought there were some really cool end user focused ones. The Pokemon Go one was kind of interesting to me. I pulled my phone out and I felt like it was pretty engaging. I didn't get a lot of time to go to actual talks. I had a lot of other things going on, so I didn't really see a lot of other things. And I'm going through the recordings as soon as they're posted to try to find some things myself. I found the hallway track and the project pavilions to both be the most interesting things personally for me.
Yeah, so for folks who don't know, the recordings are published on the CNCF YouTube channel, so you can check those out shortly. Julia.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit the opposite of Jeremy. Because the talks are recorded, I usually try to stay more at the hallway track and, around the booths, talking to people, because I think I get more value from KubeCon doing that, talking to people. And like I said, it's energizing for me. So I went to my talks. I gave 4 talks, and the one before me, it was Juraci and Michele, my manager. They gave a talk about observability, so instrumentation. And I'm really diving deep into observability. So if I have to say one talk, I would say their talk was really good and very explanatory. Michele made a lot of jokes. So, it wasn't, it was a light talk, because observability and anything in tech, if you're too technical, it can be a little dense. So it wasn't too dense. It was a really nice talk. And yeah, I would say that one.
Okay, cool. I have another question, but before I forget, how did you get 4 talks accepted? What's your secret?
I don't know. Don't ask me how, and I'm not gonna do that again, because I think 1 or 2 is enough, but 4 is too much. Because also you don't get to really enjoy. At least my talks, I had 2 on the day 0, which are the co-located. So for those that don't know, KubeCon usually starts on Tuesday, and on Monday they have the co-located events, which they had Kyverno as well as one of the co-located. They have observability day, platform engineering, etc. So I had 2 at the co-located, and then 1 on Tuesday and 1 on Wednesday. But you're always stressing out and trying to think about your talk and meeting with I had code speakers, so meeting with them, it was a lot. How did I get 4 accepted? I think I've mastered how to write good abstracts. I think, it's an art to write good abstracts and good titles. I've reviewed a lot of talks for KubeCon as well, so I know what people are looking for. So I think when I'm writing an abstract, I think as a reviewer, what would I like to see? So I think that's how I got those.
Okay.
I will echo that. I had not 4 talks, but I had a lightning talk for a project. I had a panel discussion. I did the TOC keynote, and then I also participated in Clash Loop Backoff in the project pavilion, and then spent some time talking about GitHub Actions across the whole week. And it's so overwhelming when you've got more than one thing to think about. I don't know how Joseph managed to do the chair job. Like, that seems so much work.
Yeah.
Kudos to you for that. But yeah, I think it really, is a different experience going to KubeCon and doing that than it is as an attendee. I would love to have no responsibilities and just be able to enjoy everything.
Same.
I get that. I mean, good problems to have. But
yeah, I'm not complaining.
people want to listen to me. Oh no. I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. You are a star on the stage. Make sure you check out Julia's talks and Jeremy as well. Joseph, favorite talk?
I tend to be very traditional when it comes to KubeCon talks, and then as well as I know there's a challenge of even trying to get myself to sit down. But I have a tradition. One of my biggest traditions I like to do is when it's the last day, you'll always see me at the last 2 talks, no matter what, because I feel like any speaker who's there, I know they're, people want to be on the Wednesday or the day 1 or day 2 and to be there. And I love seeing the people in attendance. But one of them I was excited about was evolving Kubernetes scheduling. And as a co-chair, I know when we looked at that title, my colleagues were like, why? That's a boring title. It goes against probably probably Julia and Jeremy, both who've written great titles. But it was Eric Toon, who was one of the early engineers that helped Kubernetes release when I was first getting into it in like 2014. So I was excited because Eric is talking about what we're doing to help improve scheduling, moving beyond like the CPU-based workloads and what, all the work that's being done. Waj is in there as well. So anytime you got like core Kubernetes contributors, you know it's going to be probably one of those deep dives, and this one is exactly that. So if you want to know where this project is heading, as far as like, hey, I can gang schedule, I can do other types of scheduling, and really what's coming next, that's the talk. And the other one I think that was impactful, he had a keynote as well as a direct talk, and that was Antonio Ojea, who we saw on Friday when he talked about a little bit about DRA, and I loved his story. I thought it was amazing because it takes a team effort to make these things happen. But then he kind of gets into a lot of his talk that he gave at KubeCon on Wednesday was about navigating the AI ML networking maze in Kubernetes. Unfortunately, we're not going to get around AI and ML. It's a thing, even if we know we're in probably a little bit of a hype cycle. But what we're seeing is a lot of great engineering that is paying off, especially with like DRA. That's the thing to pay attention to, because not only is it just for GPU, but it changed our networking model. It's really powerful. Spend the time to dig in. I think those are the things that gets me really excited.
Okay, cool. I did not check out the talks that you're mentioning, so I'm super liking this answer. And I want to make sure I do that when the recordings are out. Courtney.
Yeah, I like Julia, and I tell people before their first KubeCon experience, you don't need to go to the talks, but you'll never have the same opportunity to meet the same group of people in the same place, even if you go to another KubeCons. Like, meet as many people as possible and get out of your comfort zone, because then I watch the talks afterwards. But I do always go to the keynotes. And I always end up having a favorite keynote. And this year, but like hands down, favorite keynote was the supply chain security keynote by Stacy Potter and Adolfo Garcia. They were not only, they accomplished an absolute miracle. They made supply chain security fun and interesting enough for everybody to pay attention and learn something. Most people hear anything with security and they just kind of go, and in this case, they made it incredibly insightful, entertaining, and very useful. So I loved that talk. Huge inspiration for future keynoters, as well as anybody who's just giving a talk in general. I thought they were amazing. And then the other talk, I really only got to see keynotes, and then this one other talk that I made myself go to because I really wanted to see it, because like Julia, I had too many talks going on, not because I'm a star, but because I'm very good at picking co-speakers who are. But I went to a talk by Liz Rice, who was talking about the business of open source. It was just kind of hidden there on the agenda, but it is such an important topic. I don't know that we actually discuss it openly enough. It's always the elephant in the room. She did an amazing job addressing the elephant in the room in a very educational way. So I always jump into talks like that. I think it's something that we all need to discuss, mostly because when you're at a booth talking to people, almost inevitably the first thing they say is, do you have an open source version of this? And yes, we absolutely do. Will you please help us maintain that open source version if you're finding value in it? Will you please contribute to it? Will you not just ask for a feature, but help us build it for you, right? Those types of things, oftentimes our own end users of open source aren't always aware of the actual difficulties and impact that those have, not just on their business, but on the businesses that are helping to maintain those projects. So I thought that was a fantastic discussion that she had.
Awesome. I have a lot of follow-up questions on that. First one being, you mentioned a lot of conversations, right? So what was like the real theme of KubeCon for you? Something that people kept coming back to, in the conversation. Not like the official tagline, but from your conversations, what was like the theme of, the talk around the town? Let's start with Marino.
Sorry, can you repeat that question? I was looking at my other screen.
I was going to say, is he still here?
No, I was going to say, we were speaking about we spoke to a lot of people. And apart from the headline of the official conference, what was the theme of the conference from you, from all the conversations you had with the community? Like, what was the talk around the town, and something that people kept coming back to as you were talking to a lot of people?
I think a lot of our attention has gone to what's going on in the AI space. Like, that's a given. And what I'm seeing here is that there is a significant amount of emphasis on organizations, vendors, if you will, that are finding ways to inject agentic, MCP, some sort of networking around it into their overall workflow, into their application stack. And interestingly enough, the attendees also care about this stuff. They want to know more about it. They want to know what they can do, how they can optimize their day-to-day workflows, if you will. And when I go back to your previous question about talks, right? What was your favorite talk? The one Antonio did actually was really important too, because while everyone is building agentic, everyone's building with AI, building all these cool MCP servers that are not really verified and have no authenticity, what we're also not really seeing a lot of is the hardware side of it. Like, it is a lot of work to GPU network. It's a lot of planning. It's like going back to the data center all over again. And if you front all of that with Kubernetes, and if you front that with the DRA net stuff as well, you start to see that you can optimize a lot of that AI networking, if you will, just at lower levels. So that's becoming a very important theme that is bringing networking back to life, if you will, and the importance of it. But something else that I've noticed too is that when we announced the Ingress Nginx deprecation or retirement, what I've noticed is a lot of people were heavily dependent on that project, and they started coming up to my booth because I work for Kong. And they're like, hey, we need to get out of our strategy. We've got a short runway. How do we do this? Can Kong do this? Or, several other vendors can do this as well. And it shows me that we have a heavy dependence on open source software, where a lot of organizations are just not going the enterprise route. And if you think back to that diagram where you've got this massive enterprise architecture and that one little thing that is holding it all up and it falls off, then everything breaks. And that is going to happen. We're going to see a lot of people not react quickly enough and realize that, okay, there's a vulnerability that's now been pushed out in the Ingress Nginx, and no one has anything to do to be able to fix that because there are no open source maintainers supporting it. Right? And that's becoming more of a problem where we can solve it, but there are various considerations and ways and planning that need to go about to solve that problem.
Cool. Quite interesting. Thanks for sharing, Marino. Joseph?
Yeah. What was I'm sorry, you have to remind me. I was so wrapped up in Marino's reply because he hit on something that's really powerful. But go ahead, remind me again.
Talk around the town based on the conversations you were having with people.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, like, most of the conversations are probably similar to where Marino's at. I think, AI and ML is the world that I kind of live in currently. I think a lot of the conversations I'm having are kind of around this. I think that, as Marino kind of mentioned, like, there's a lot of unknown unknowns. We're building things. I'm even kind of going through this with regards to just, security and how do we implement these things when it comes to things like MCP. So, I mean, I feel like that's kind of been a lot of the dialogue that I've been in. I think the other thing that I'd also mention, because I'm also in the end user technical advisory board. So, one of the topics that we had that came up a lot is platform engineering still, about, how people are maturing with it. Are you seeing the outcomes? How heavy is this investment, for them? And I think you're seeing kind of like we're kind of, beyond that hype around it, but not more of like, okay, now we're in this maturity cycle. What's good? What makes this meaningful? What things could improve? And you're seeing that this correlation between, as we're going through this kind of change with like AI native influencing our projects, your ability to have a platform that allows you to move quickly, to be able to adapt to these changes, especially when it comes to like code gen, increasing like the amount of deployments, having like a very healthy software factory or platform is really key. So it's great to be around those dialogues to see what are the patterns I'm seeing. And again, we had a kind of a discussion among, with Kelsey around some of this that was kind of related to a lot of large platforms. So I think those are the big topics that I was finding myself in.
Cool. I have a follow-up on what you mentioned earlier. You said you're going to not talk about AI, but obviously it's everywhere this year. But where did you genuinely see interest for the intersection of AI and cloud native? Any examples? Or but not just like we have now added AI to our product.
You're talking about to me basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think what I'm starting to see, and I even before I got to KubeCon, I actually had a chance to kind of go through a demo with the Intuit team, who kind of like brought some of the things, and we were like, a lot of what we're talking about now is like intent-based computing. Like we have this declarative platform, and it allows us to kind of like get things. Now having that ability is from a developer experience to be more intent-driven, I think is kind of like the full realization. Some of the more future thinking, I had talked to Diego McLeod, who had a keynote on Thursday, and one of the topics that we had was like about what if we had autonomous controllers? What could that possibly do? Like, could we? And I'm looking strictly from a platform perspective of the personas that I'm working with are like SRE and DevOps, and I'm looking at ways to help. How do I help them scale without them being drowned in toil? And this is where we look at opportunities of like, can we start to delegate and look at more agentic approaches with infrastructure to be able to delegate these ways in safe manners? And so those are probably the areas where I've been probably providing the most feedback, seeing like early iterations, but and we're seeing projects emerge out of this. Obviously the questions that really get raised, and I did have a good conversation around like, well, how does security and RBAC work for autonomous agents that we're introducing into our platform? So that's kind of like, it's all early stages, but that's probably where I'm seeing a lot of like, how do we do these and productionize these things in a safe manner?
Cool, amazing. Thanks for sharing, Joseph. Courtney, you want to go next?
Very, very in line with what Joseph was saying. I had a lot of conversations with people, but because I was also asking specifically for my own curiosity, where would you use AI? Because platform teams are constantly talking about the toil they have, but they're not, they all seem to be trying to figure out how or what that use case would actually be that is useful for them. And they all have a totally different platform setup, which means they have totally different toil, which means they have totally different use cases coming out right now. And I think until that space matures a little bit more, there won't be very niche things that you can say, this is a case that AI is going to solve for all platform teams. I think we're still very much in a maturing phase of people who are building out those platforms, still trying to figure out exactly what works and how to shorten those feedback loops, and to then get to a point where they can say, okay, here are very real use cases for AI that are going to fix things for platform teams. And that was repeated to me over and over and over in a bunch of different ways and different conversations throughout the week. So I have a very big interest in trying to understand the aspect because I think also the human interactions between people are fascinating, and I think that's probably where AI will help a lot more than people think with communication and maybe even a certain amount of substitution for soft skills. And then the other place where obviously I did spend a lot of time at the Nirmata booth, we are constantly having conversations around policy for AI or AI for policy. And there's a whole nother world there, which it was refreshing to see, at least for me at this KubeCon, a lot more focus on security. So people in just every KubeCon goers in general were much more focused on security, and not the whole concept of shifting left, right, up, down, or anywhere. It was much more a matter of, okay, now I'm very aware that I'm going to have a lot of code that's created by people who are actually using AI. So it's not really human referenced code. It's probably going to be tested by AI. I don't really know how much I can trust that. My infrastructure now has certain things that are trying to be done by AI. How much of this can I trust? I should probably start being a lot more security focused. And so I think we will probably also see over the next couple of KubeCons a shift in AI for security stance as well, not just platform toil.
That is interesting. A lot of conversations around treating platform as a product and your developers as its customers, which was quite, a lot of platform engineering talks. So thanks for sharing, Courtney, and thanks for bringing it up. Jeremy, then Julia?
Yeah, I think, so going back to your original question, what's the theme? For me, there was a lot of security conversations. I'm sure there's not a single theme. Like, it's going to be different for everybody based off of how you are approaching things, where your interests lie.
Yeah.
For me, like in my day job, I think a lot of things are security related. I think there were interesting conversations around AI and security, how they come together, how do you secure things, how does it help? Those were interesting. But I also think that for me, I had a number of conversations about sustainability of things, partially related to the Ingress Nginx deprecation that was announced. A lot of people, I think, aren't really thinking about their supply chain as much as they should, and about the things that they have dependencies on. I went to the talk with James and Marco when they announced that deprecation, and somebody in the audience yelled out, well, what am I supposed to do now? And I think that was a reoccurring theme with folks that I talked to as well. Like, they, like Mario said, not thinking, or Marina said, not thinking as much about maybe all the dependencies or the dependencies on open source that they have. So that was another real big takeaway for me.
Cool. A follow-up on that, Jeremy. What do you think people are actually worried about now compared to when, like 2-3 KubeCons ago, security-wise?
I think how to apply policy, how to secure all of these new things. I think the velocity people are starting to get with AI generated code and the availability of like coding agents to help speed things up is definitely a concern. I still think that from an enterprise customer or from people in regulated spaces, how to handle vulnerabilities and like how to be aware, maybe tied into supply chain a little bit. How do I manage and control this giant problem I have about keeping things up to date, keeping things patched, understanding how to keep myself from being vulnerable to exploits from stuff that's in my stack.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. Julia?
Yeah, I want to go back to your question about the hype at KubeCon. I think, in my humble opinion, the hype was the Zero backpack. No, I'm joking. But seriously, we had one day, Wednesday, people were fighting over those backpacks. So it was interesting to see that. But talking about AI that you asked as well, I think, AI is helping to reduce cognitive load. I had a lot of interesting talks around platform engineering, etc. But AI helps with a lot more. So not only debugging, contextual suggestions. Also, I saw at the Zero booth, it's helping a lot with observability. So automatic analysis of telemetry. We even have like agentic AIs for that. So I think AI is a big thing now. And people are building tools around that. But, I think the hype is going to settle. We all talk about AI is great. But I think soon there are other things to talk besides AI. And the other speakers here, they said great things, security and also hardware. All those topics are very important as well. So I think for future KubeCons, we shouldn't focus so much around AI. I saw on the schedule there were so many talks around AI, which is normal, like people want to hear more about that. But hopefully we'll focus on other things, sustainability as well, other things that are as important.
Cool. I appreciate it. yeah, since the past few KubeCons, AI has been the, obviously the buzz, and a lot of initiatives by the CNCF as well. Cool. I want to ask some more questions, and then we'll open it to audience. So folks, if you're joining live from whatever platform, just send your question over there. I'll catch it. Who is the one person you are really glad you bumped into at KubeCon? Maybe if you want to give someone a shout out. This can be a quick answer. Julia?
I'm really glad I bumped into Marino, Courtney. Unfortunately, didn't bump into Jeremy. No, but like all my friends, I can't mention one person. It was just amazing. So yeah.
Courtney, how are you?
This is
Now,
a
now,
really
now you have to say Julia.
I was just gonna say this is a really hard. Julia Marino always. They're like just basic KubeCon. If I don't see them, it was like I was never there. I saw Joseph my very first day when I got there to pick up my badge. That was so nice because also you can see him, but like in passing, he's always so busy, and so it was absolutely lovely to get a few minutes just to catch up with him on a human level. I saw Ole Lensmar. He very much has mentored me into this space. My first DevRel job at TestCube, and so it was so good to see him and get to spend some time. And then Orlin and William Rizzo and Orlin Vasilov are like also they hype me up for every talk I give because I get nervous every time. And they're always like, "You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine," and they're right. I am fine. So I love them for keeping me calm. Yeah.
Cool. Marino?
I play no favorites here, so I'm always happy to bump into everyone and just run into them. But there were two additionals that I hadn't seen in a while. One was Ian Coldwater, which normally they don't come out to KubeCons. I haven't seen them at a KubeCon in a while, but I also didn't get a chance to really interact other than like a quick wave because I was just on the go. And another one was from someone I used to work with almost like 10 years ago. And it's shocking when you go to an event and you don't see someone for a long time and you finally see them after such a long time. It's a bit of a reunion. So I'm not going to name names, but effectively that was it for me. And it's important when you get to run into people that had a significant impact on your career and where you go and influence the direction you go in as well. So I always appreciate these large events because that's when you'll likely catch them. But you won't find me at reInvent, unfortunately, because I'm not going into that chaos.
Touche.
Will. Yeah, one more for me till the end of the year.
Cool. Jeremy?
I think for me, it was really cool to see Coldwater. That's a good call. I was really excited to see Veronica Lopez from SIG Release. We actually cut patch releases from the expo, from the Project Pavilion area. So it was fun. Seeing Adolfo was really cool too. I think, again, going back to the community piece, for me, KubeCon is really great because I get to see the people that I work with in SIG Release that I never otherwise get to see, but we work together closely all the time. So it's nice to be able to have that in-person collaboration and communication.
Nice. Yeah, for me, it was, I have two shout outs. Obviously, the Cast AI team, never met them before because I've just joined. It was really nice to see them. And Emily, who used to be my sort of like, I don't know the right word, mentee in this online virtual internship program for MLH. And it was really nice to see her as well. Cool. One more fun question. Which one was your favorite after party? Now, this can be a quick one. Julia.
Dash zeros.
It's a diplomatic answer. Right. Courtney.
Yeah, same. KyvernoCon, FlexCon after party was
This is cheating.
my favorite.
Okay, second favorite. You know where I'm getting at with this.
Second favorite, maybe Sig Boba.
All right, there you go. Marino.
Okay, I'm sorry, Kunal. There's always one party I look forward to every single KubeCon,
Isovalent.
and it's the isovalent
Yeah.
isovalent hive mind. Like,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you why, right? So
Me too.
I worked with a lot of people over the course of my career who now work at Cisco Isovalent, and it's always nice to just catch up with them because that is the only place I do get to catch up with them. You know, from the people like Duffy to Liz to Thomas to Jerry to a lot of Erica, a lot of people, Christine even, who is also a Canadian. I see them throughout the show floor, but that's the time where I actually get to sit down and, you know, have a drink, interact with them, catch up with them, and even catch up with the people that I used to work with at VMware too, because a lot of them have started just migrating to Isovalent, and people ask me, hey, when you coming over to? And honestly, I don't know when that's going to happen. It would be home for me if I did go there, but the reality is, like, they just don't have anything for me at the moment. And it's such a good party because there's no like concept of drink tickets or anything like that. You just go there, get your drinks, have a great time. The food is good. The people are great. And a lot of people, even outside of that ecosystem, tend to show up at that party too. So it's my favorite. Sorry, Kunal.
I was there.
All good. All
You were?
good.
Did I see you? I can't remember. Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Okay.
remember we left together?
That is right. We walked back to the hotel together. I remember
Exactly.
Yeah, I was. I completely agree, and I always look forward to Isovalent as well.
Don't let Lee hear you, by the way.
Oh, he doesn't mind. we had I mean, Sibo was really good this year. Yeah, Jeremy.
I would normally say HiveMind, but I didn't go this year. I had a conflict, so I was bummed. But before my conflict, I went to the Night at the Aquarium thing that Adara
was
hosted,
good.
and I thought that was
good.
super cool. Just the space was really cool. There were a lot of great people. It had a cool vibe, so it was fun to talk to people. Had a bunch of great conversations. But the fact that it was in an aquarium and there were whales, I don't know, just was really, really, really cool. I think it was a nice change of pace from other things that I've been to.
Did you do the tour or did you just go to the party?
I just went to the party.
Okay.
So I was bummed to not do the whole tour. People were talking about that and it sounded really, really cool.
That's nice.
I definitely want to go back to Atlanta to check out the aquarium. I'm an aquarium fan.
Cool. All right, folks, one last question and then we can do the quick quiz and announce the giveaway winner. So by the way, we are doing a giveaway of a signed book by Kelsey Hightower, and we're going to pick some winners and we're going to do a quiz for that. So make sure you join till the end. I'll be sharing a QR code that you can scan on your phone, and it's quite easy. It's a quick quiz. The last question is, what was like a moment where you were like, okay, this is why I love the community, and what are you hoping to see at the next KubeCon? Let's start with Marino.
So one thing that I remember way back from when I first met you in Valencia KubeCon, right? Like there were a lot of people that were just showing up for the very first time to their KubeCon. You know, didn't know what to expect, but they showed up and they participated and just became a part of the community. And then to see them doing what they do now, and that growth trajectory to where they're contributing, or they're a CNCF ambassador, or they're running a KCD, or they're actually speaking on stage, or just walking the show floor, whatever it is, it's amazing for me to see that journey, right? Like, and I remember all these different people that would just, you know, come up and shake hands with me, and I see where they're at now and what they're doing, and that's just impressive, right? And it just shows that they want to be consistent. They want to be very entrenched and attached to this community and be a big part of it. And I love that. That's what it is for me.
Cool. Julia?
Yeah, for me, I think it's all about helping one another, you know, and the concept I think we get that also from the concept of open source. I'm starting in my observability journey, so I focused a lot about that at KubeCon, and I sat with people and they explained me things that I didn't know, you know, they took time from their KubeCon, and they could be watching talks, they could be speaking to other people, but they sat down to explain, to help me, and I think I do that as well. Like there are people that come to me, Kate, can you help me? Can you, I do that. And it's all like a cycle. We help each other. And that's why this community is so thriving, because it's all about the humans in the community helping one another. And because we're behind the tools and we get to decide what's going to happen. So I think, yeah, it's all about helping and growing together, lifting each other up.
Okay, cool. I completely agree. Courtney?
Yeah, one of my absolute favorite moments of this KubeCon was coming across people that I connect with in the community space who'd never actually met each other in like carbon form, like in real tangible, oh, you're real. And seeing them meet for the first time and then spend all week very much coming back to each other, but not on their own. It was like, I met this other very cool person over here and I'm bringing them into this loop. And the cross-pollination that then happened between our community members and other community members and the open source projects. And I had no idea this one existed. And now somebody's told me about it. Was absolutely phenomenal to watch happen, not just out on the showroom floor, but in the project pavilion as well, because then they would come across each other or they'd take each other to the project pavilion to introduce their new friend to a new project that they're involved in. And then watching also while I was in the project pavilion at the Kyverno booth, there was a moment where 2 different projects had people that had to leave. And so their booth was left unattended because they had to go give talks. And somebody came around kind of like looking, and the projects around those booths were like, oh, are you looking for the people from that project? Oh, they went to give a talk, but I can give you some basic information. It was such a moment of, yes, I'm here to talk about this project that I spend a lot of my life contributing to and maintaining, but I appreciate the other people who are doing the same things in the projects around me, that I'm going to make sure that people get connected with that. It's inspiring every single time I see it happen, truthfully. The appreciation that people have for each other and the time invested in what's going on, I think is incredible.
Couldn't agree more. Jeremy?
Yeah, 2 things come to mind. One, I think the support that I saw people give to the Ingress Nginx maintainers really meant a lot to me, and seeing the people just being there for each other. And then the other thing that I found really cool was it happened to me, and I did it. People said, oh, hey, you should meet this other person and talk about these 2 projects that are related or have some overlap, and meet me here at this time. And I would show up, and it would be somebody that I already knew from another project. And then vice versa. Like I said, oh yeah, come to the Azure booth, we're going to talk about this thing. And when they showed up, they already knew each other. So like the small world angle, I think, of the space is really cool. Even when you don't necessarily work on the same projects, or you've maybe gone to work on other things, things come back to that connection that are, and it just felt really cool.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing, Jeremy. All right, folks, this was great. For me, it would be the combination of everything you just said, because I can't pick one. So community, a lot of learnings, meeting old friends, and a lot of business prospects. I think that's always fun. And meeting people I would never meet. Never say never. I meet Lee outside of conferences. We go snowboarding. So when are you inviting me, Courtney, to Spain?
I think you have been invited as my conference son for, I don't know, 3 years now.
Cool. We'll see.
So,
make something
mi
happen.
casa es tu casa. When you're ready, you can come hang out.
Cool, folks. Let's thank you so much. Let's do the quiz. So let me just present this. Hopefully that works. Does it work? Can everyone see it?
I see it.
All right. So how do I do this? We have 5 people. Just scan this QR code and you should be good. We're giving away a signed copy by Kelsey Hightower. So good luck to everyone. This is the first time I'm using this. So I'm going to go on next slide. 10 players ready, 11, 12. How do I show the QR code? There you go. So you can scan this. 14, 15. Yeah, just go ahead and scan that. You can join from your phone, and 17, 18, 19. I'll start at 20. Come on. By the way, the people on stage can also take part. All right, shall we start the quiz? Let's do it. In the context of large language models, what does the context window refer to? Is it the GPU memory required for model inference, maximum number of tokens the model can process in a single request, the time window for caching model responses, the number of parallel requests a model can handle? 4, 3, 2, 1. Maximum number of tokens. 12 people got it right. Right, all right, no worries. That was a good one. Cool. 18 players ready. Showing the QR code. You all ready? Going one. It's going twice. Let's go. Oh, so if you answer quickly, you get more points. That is interesting. How many KubeCons happen every year? Is it 2? Is it 4? Is it 5? Or is it 6?
Tough one.
Or 1? There's no 1. I mean,
It could be.
what? Only 3 people got it right. So there's North America, there's Europe, there's China, there's India, and there's Japan. So 5. No worries. Did the people on the panel know this?
I had to count it on my fingers to think through all of them. The Japan one, I think, was a struggle for me. I forgot about that originally.
Yeah, Japan's the new one. Cool.
Yeah.
No worries. If you got it wrong, you can still win. I'm going to show joining instructions once again. So if you want to scan, going 3, 2, 1. Or you can also join at menti.com and use this code. All right. Next quiz. We're going to move forward quick this time. What is temperature in context of LLM inference parameters? A lot of AI questions. Physical temperature of the GPU during the inference, a parameter controlling randomness of model outputs, warm-up time required before the model inference, the rate of token generation per second. Okay, 6 people got it right. Very cool. Move on to the next question. Start. If you want to join, here's the link. What does 8B in Llama 3.1 8B specifically refer to? 8 bytes of memory required, 8 billion parameters in the model, 8-bit quantization level, or 8 base model variants? This is a straightforward one. 10, 9, 8. By the way, if you want to join, you can use this URL, menti.com, and use the code 689610007. We only have a few more questions left. All right, 11 people got it right. Next one. Almost there, folks. Which CNCF project is used for service mesh functionality? Envoy, Istio, FluentBit, eBPF. Eight people have answered. 9, 10, 11 people have answered. Okay, 12 people answered. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Istio is the correct answer. I think those are all the questions.
Why not Kuma?
Who is the winner? Okay, that doesn't make sense. I wasn't even playing.
You're the winner. Congratulations.
What? I wasn't
Hey,
even playing.
Kunal, what's going on here?
What's happening?
Okay. All right,
So-
I'll admit, I actually
I
picked,
feel like this
picked
is
that
rigged.
name.
I don't
That
know
was
about
me.
anybody
That was
else
me.
here. But
Oh,
I feel
really?
like this is rigged.
Oh man.
So no,
Alright.
I was the one that put Kunal's name in there.
Right. So, from this day
I
onwards,
just wanted to make a joke.
it's all good. Love a little healthy joke. From this day onwards, Marino is banned from all Kunal Kushwaha streams. No, I'm kidding. It's all good. Is any one of you Rodrigo? The people in the panel? No?
No.
All right. Rodrigo, you are the winner. We will reach out to you, or you can just email me at kunal.kushwaha@cast.ai. But if you're registered, we will reach out to you. Rodrigo, if you're watching on the live stream and you didn't register, then you can just reach out to me, kunal.kushwaha@cast.ai. But I'm pretty sure there's we have your info because you signed up to this thing, so you should have signed up. Anyway, we will reach out. If not, I'm very easy to find. Let me just stop my screen share. Stop sharing my screen. Give me a second. I'm gonna just all right, cool. I'm just gonna Rodrigo Costa, you are in the chat, so this is my email. Feel free to email me. All right, this was amazing, folks. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. This is being recorded as well, so we all saw what Marino did, and it's a part of history now. So it's recorded. So if you're ever planning to have him on your stream, you better reconsider. No, I'm kidding.
You need a troll on your stream somehow at some point, right?
No, it was fun. It was fun. I'm just kidding. Marino is amazing. Everyone here is awesome. Joe and Esmira had to drop off, but no worries. We loved everyone having here. We loved having everyone here, and this was awesome. We will see you in the next one. We will see you in Amsterdam. Go check out Dash Zero. Go check out Microsoft. Go check out Nirmata. Go check out Kong. Check out Adobe. And go check out Cast AI as well. This was a lot of fun, folks. We will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you for having
Bye,
us.
everyone.
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye.